first program that we instituted in the Institute, which was founded in 1985 in Jerusalem, 1 year before we founded the International Federation here in Detroit. We were in Jerusalem, and there we had really our first strong and significant connection with the Israelis. We had been there before, we had made voyages and talks, but it really clicked. And out of it came the Institute. And the first program that we instituted in 1987 was a program called, it had three names. We called it the Leadership Program. We called it in Hebrew the Madricha program. The word translates freely guide, but after all, a kind of guide to humanistic Judaism, secular humanistic Judaism. And then because part of our culture was Yiddish culture, there was the word Wegweiser. So leader, Madrich, Madricha, Wegweiser. You could be all three or any two or just one. It was very important, and we were all very excited. And the program started off with a great bang. There were all these people in all these communities who wanted to be leaders, and there was no opportunity to train. And there are people in this room who graduated out of that program. This evening we are honoring three people. One is in Florida and is unable to come. The second, I want to tell you her story because it's so extraordinary. She came to us from Baltimore. She was part of the Baltimore secular humanistic Jewish community. And she had a very special quality. She was not only intelligent and sensitive, she had great determination. And becoming a madricha was so important. I mean, some people want to become a madrich. It was so important to her. Her name was Sue Fader, and she loved to learn. If you asked her to write something, she would write this magnificent paper. She would do all this research. There was such a level of high commitment. And she looked so forward to her graduation. And then something happened along the way. It's part of what, is responsible for our philosophy. The universe, from a moral point of view, is not well managed. Cancer struck, a terrible cancer. And in fact, most people would have given up because after all, you can't graduate, you're going to die. But she was determined. She contacted us, she contacted me. She wanted to do her paper. She insisted on doing everything, completing it, everything, magnificently. And I would receive these incredible papers from her. She was going to graduate. Well, she died before the graduation. And this is a sad time because for Sue, this would have been an overwhelmingly important thing. That is, achieving this recognition was so important to her. She was a very loyal and devoted member of the Congress of Secular Jewish Organizations, of which the Baltimore community is a part. And so it's quite wonderful. Executive director is here. Her name is Rivka Feinstein. And what I'd like you to do is to come up here and to light that first light of the menorah as a symbol of her achievement. And let that flame be like a flame of courage and inspiration for all of us. Well, Jack Silver, would you stand? Because I want to talk about you. I was just in Phoenix, and I had a wonderful time, and one of the reasons why I had a wonderful time is because I love being with you and Sherwin, all right? And and at the high holidays, at the Yom Kippur service, we installed you as the official leader and madrich of the Phoenix congregation, and you have now entered the rabbinic program as a rabbinic candidate. And I said to you then that I was not only the person who installed you, I was the person who admired you, because you have certain qualities that I think are superb for the work that you have chosen. You have come through life with a doctorate and professional skills that are absolutely overwhelming, right? So, and then you came to this community in Phoenix, and you've helped to transform it, because you have all the qualities of a good leader. You have patience and kindness, a lot of kindness. You have a wonderful sense of humor. I mean, you know, I said the sense of the absurd because we live in an absurd, we live in an absurd universe, and you have to be able to roll with the punches all the time. And you have vision. And what I notice, you're a leader. You're able to mobilize people. People really are drawn to you and by what you do. So having you as part of this movement as a madrich and as a rabbinic candidate is absolutely marvelous. And we are grateful for your choice, and we look forward to the special contribution that you will make to our movement. So would you come forward, and would you light the second light? Thank you. As I mentioned before, this celebration, this graduation, is a special moment for us because it's the first, or I really should say the second time that we have affirmed our special connection to Eretz Yisrael, to the people who are there, and because we have all these friends, and we have all these people who have chosen to become leaders and rabbis in secular humanistic Judaism. Now, in Israel, there is a very important leader. You heard him speak today. He always speaks words of wisdom. He is the co-dean of the International Institute, and he is, to a great degree, responsible for the wonderful program that exists there. So it's with a deep pleasure and great honor to invite Professor Yaakov Malkin to come forward to share his thoughts at this special graduation.
Friends and colleagues, somehow I get always involved in personal announcements when it comes to graduation. There's an old Jewish saying that no one can be jealous of his daughter and his students. I must admit that I am jealous of my daughter and of my students. Jealous because they are starting a way that I didn't dare to go. The way of secular Judaism and institutionalize the professionalism of secular Judaism. We failed in Israel as far as our cultural communities are concerned, though we started them quite early, in the beginning of the 20th century, mainly in the kibbutzim and moshavim. But because we did not have professional leadership, and because we did not institutionalize the leadership of a secular Judaism in the positive sense, not what you don't do, but what you do, we failed. And this is a rare opportunity when Israel comes to learn from you, from the diaspora. It's a rare opportunity mainly because Israelis don't want to admit that there is something to learn. But this time we have to. The place that we are in, the people that we meet, convince us that this is actually the place where we can learn something about restarting cultural communities, restarting a leadership of secular humanistic Judaism. And you are going to do it, those who graduate today, and my daughter, who started the program and is directing it. Therefore, I am jealous. Thank you.